Hello world, it's me here, just with a really quick and very bad quality video. I really do apologise. It is stupid o'clock in the morning, like 3:44 a.m. But I've just been having a conversation with my friend Rudolph, who lives in Australia, and they're 9 hours ahead of me, kind of thing. So yeah, it's all a bit bizarre, whatever. So that's why it's so late. But he sent me a cassette to transfer for him, and it's this thing here. It's called Touch Travel. This is the package that it came in. He bought it from an eBay seller in Germany. The eBay seller in Germany then forwarded it on to me, so that I could make the transfer, because I've got a hi-fi cassette deck, this Yamaha KX something or other that I can't even remember the model number because it's just too blooming late at night, whatever. Here's the cassette. It's presumably, I think, a little bit higher quality than the usual sort of bog standard cassettes that 80s and 90s albums were recorded onto. Now this is from 1984. It's before Enya was famous. The album is called Touch Travel. Enya gets some sort of credit on it because she made some kind of contributions to it. But anyway, just going back to it, look at this sort of mechanism here. You see, this just looks like a blank cassette that you can sort of buy and record onto, basically. If you compare that with, this is a see-through one, so you might not be able to see it so well. But yeah, if you compare it to this, for example, this is a cassette single from the 80s as well, from about the same time, as it were. Here, this hole, the record protect hole, is uncovered, as they all were when you bought them, okay, unless you bought a blank cassette to record your own stuff onto, when they would be, oops, I haven't do this, they'd be like that, okay. Furthermore, this is how they were manufactured. If you were to use a screwdriver and push out the tab, then there'd be a tiny sort of residue of it left. And I can't imagine some factory worker being paid to just sit there and remove all the tabs after these have been recorded. So there must have been some machinized way of doing that. Anyway, blank cassettes tended to be, even the cheaper blank cassettes, tended to be far more reliable and sort of stand the test of timeable than these sort of pre-recorded cassettes. I've got loads of pre-recorded albums on cassette, and not many of them will actually play properly in a cassette machine. But this one, thankfully, does. The B side of it is totally blank. There's nothing on it at all, and I've checked. But there is a mystery, okay? In this package come 4 posters. Not a bed, I promise you. 2 of these turquoise ones here, and a purple one, and a browny kind of terracotta-y coloured one. Now if I just open one of these things out, so this has got, yeah, titles on it. It's got quotes on it, if not necessarily lyrics. Sorry, I'm being very rude here. This is what one of them looks like here. They don't look like they're lyrics, but this has got like a sort of track listing on it. Okay. Now, this one, I can't read it because it's sort of Celtic. I honestly can't do it. It's called The Solar Wind, I think. Produced by Nicky Ryan in Dublin. Now, there is nothing on here that sounds anything like a song with a Celtic title called The Solar Wind in English. Yeah, it's bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre, because there are bits on here, like, for example, there's a shaman ceremony here, Yano Mamo Shamanism, for example, on here, which sounds like something that's on this cassette. However, I don't think person on eBay has actually sent all of the music that's supposed to be on this album, because that's one section of it which is really ambient, really bizarre, okay, and probably the reason why you've got a blank side of this is probably to record yourself screaming, because it's actually really quite a difficult album to listen to. So I'm going to have a look at this poster now. Doesn't appear to have a track listing at all. It's got a lot of information. Planning a trip to Kenya in the Irish pubs, English October, Cypriot London. 2 days later, the beginning of a national election, all weekend, something, drinking, something. Yeah, you see, I can't really read it. It's a bit late at night. It's a bit dark in here. But it doesn't actually look like there's anything like a track listing on here. There's just a lot of stuff on here, really, just for you to read. I'll show you a little bit more of it here. I'll quickly run through the other stuff that's on here. Yeah, right, we've got these two turquoise-ish colour ones. What's this? Alright. Yep. Also, another sort of essay thing here, but not really what looks like a track listing. So it seems like the only track listing is on that sort of brownie coloured one. I'll have one quick look here, see if there's any kind of thing that looks like lyrics or track listing or anything here. Yes, yep, it's the same. It looks like the same track listing that's supposed to be on the cassette, okay? But, as I say, it doesn't all appear to be there. There is this track called The Solar Wind on there. There's something called General Strike, My Other Body, Clock Face, Frank Ricotti and Brian Gouland, Journey. Swastika Bells. Yeah, fine, okay, but I think that's a Hindu swastika and not the other one. 1,000 Mexicans, Trans Astrakhan, Seeing the World, Body Talk, Old Silk Route, Pig Slaughter, 3 Mustafas, Barn, Quimantu, Interview with Sergio Avila, The Zampona, Yanomamo Shamanism, Colne Peels, Old Silk Route, Mule Bells, and what sounds like Enya again, which is supposed to be a song called Miss Clare Remembers. Okay, I think that funny long Celtic name is basically Enya. 33 Notes from the Underground. So yes, this thing here looks like the full track listing that's supposed to be on here, and it's not. Okay, it really isn't. As I say, it's basically one side of a blank tape here that's been recorded with a little label on it, and I have a feeling that there is supposed to be another one that goes with it, but that unfortunately whatever either the eBay seller doesn't have or didn't know. It's one of these things, and here I will start to make some sense now. It's one of these things because I've seen quite a few videos on YouTube from cassette collectors that go out to yard sales or whatever, or buy in great bulk very, very cheaply from online auction sites and what have you. And then they go through the lot, they have a little look on Discogs or whatever, see how much they think it's worth, see if they can get some sort of markup on it, and then flog it. Okay? But what they don't do is have any kind of machine to test these tapes out in. You cannot flog tapes without testing them, because, as I say, these pre-recorded cassettes here, most of them don't work. Particularly beware of any that come on EMI, whether or not it's EMI Parlophone, e.g. Beatles stuff, whether or not it's any of those XDR cassettes. They were supposed to have some sort of I don't know, extra high sort of resolution-y kind of thing, as opposed to ordinary cassettes. But basically, the mechanisms were crap. They really were crap. What were they, folks? Crap. All right? And they don't work. Okay? If you're a person that is trying to get some sort of markup to sell cassettes on eBay or any other kind of thing, at least have the decency to find yourself a cassette player, listen to the thing and check that it works. Okay? Listen to it and check that the cassette in it is anything like what's supposed to be on the tape. Because this is, you know, it's only half a job by the sounds of it. Okay? Because, you know, I can't find anything else on this tape. I've tried, I've listened to it, I've tried, I can't find anything. Okay? I must say that what I did do, I didn't listen to 3/4 of an hour of entire silence on this side. I just started recording what was on here and noticed that after 20 odd minutes or so, then there didn't appear to be anything on this side. But what I'll do before I send this on to Rudolph, I will actually double check this again, but I'm pretty sure there's absolutely nothing on this side. So yeah, it's a bit of a tale of woe, really, bit of a tale of caution. And if you are, you know, one of these people that sells pre-recorded cassettes on to other unsuspecting members of the public, have the decency to check what's actually on the tape, whether or not it actually works. Okay, just get yourself a very cheap cassette player, because the mechanisms now are even poorer than you know, even the cheapest of hi-fi decks from the 80s and 90s. So any problems that show up in terms of the thing stopping, chewing up, which is what is likely to happen, or any kind of uneven speed, and play the whole thing. Play the whole thing. Don't just, you know, think, oh, right, 10 minutes on and it works, you know, because quite often you can get to, you know, the end of a side and suddenly you find that it's actually all slowing down, you know, the mechanisms cacking out and whatever, and you can't sell it in that condition. You know, you know, if you actually look back on my channel, you'll see that there are kind of attempts that I did of trying to transfer reels of cassette into a sort of different holder, different sort of cassette holder, as it were. You know, having to break through one of these things and then sort of transfer it, and it still didn't work. Okay, so yes, don't do that. You know, just have some decency, check it out, check that it works. Okay, and there endeth the lesson. Okay, sorry this is in such bad light and everything, but there you go. All right, I will speak later. Bye bye.